In this video we are going to be learning how to very quickly edit our photographs and enhance them to get the best out of them in a short amount of time. Jumping straight into it, the first thing you should always do is right click and duplicate your layer. That means we have a backup and something to compare it to later. And we're going to move on to step one now, which is adjustments. At the top of your screen you will see view. You want to click on that and go down to rulers. This brings up measurements on either axis. If you click on those measurements and drag your mouse down, you will bring down a horizontal or a vertical line in cyan. You can see it on my screen now. We use this as a guide for our transforming. Hit Ctrl and T to bring up the transform tool, or go on to the edit tab at the top and click on free transform. This brings up the window around the photograph, of which there are several anchor points. Now these anchor points are really important for the adjustment of our photograph. If you've seen that your picture has a line that's slightly off on one side, use these anchor points to correct that. These can make or break your photograph, so it's really important that we pay attention to these subtle details here. If you click on the outside of the transform window, it will allow you to rotate the photograph clockwise or anti-clockwise. And if you click on the anchor points, that will warp and skew the photograph. It will take time and every image will be different, but we have to correct those mistakes that we make when we're taking a picture on our phone, especially with mine, which happen to be leaning ever so slightly to one side. It will make the photograph look more pleasing on the eye and more professional. With the horizon line now flattened out, I'm happy to move on to the next step, which is adjusting the brightness and contrast. So step 2 is changing the brightness and contrast. So you want to click on the image tab at the top, go over to adjustments and click on brightness and contrast. At this stage I would just recommend playing around with these two sliders until you've got a result that you're happy with. It really depends on the outcome that you're looking for and the kind of theme you want to portray. Obviously with my picture I want to build a strong contrast between those stormy skies on the left and the more calm, relaxing skies on the right. So what I've done is just boost that contrast right up, and it makes the photograph really dynamic, but it really depends on what you are going for. Now on to the third and the final part of our very quick photograph enhancing tutorial. It starts with going onto the image tab, onto adjustments and finding hue and saturation. Like on the last step, I would recommend just playing around with these sliders until you have an outcome that you're happy with. It's all subjective and it's all depending on the result that you're looking for. What I've done on mine is just add a small amount of saturation boost. That's just bringing more colour back into the photograph. If you do it too much, it can really oversaturate and make an image look messy. So really it's just these subtle adjustments that will make your photograph more enriched. Saturation just means how much colour something has or has not got. So if you desaturate an image completely, you take all the colour out and it becomes black and white. If you saturate or oversaturate, you're adding colour back into it. As you can see from my edited version, I added a bit more saturation, which gave the image more vibrancy, more colour, just gave it some extra life, making it look really dynamic and really interesting. So again, it's all subjective and it's all down to you as an individual, depending on how much colour you want or you don't want in your image. But I hope this quick tutorial helps, and I'll see you in the next one.